What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about testing the spirits to see if they are real. Now, a lot of times when we read that in the Bible, the first thing comes to mind is how it relates to us as far as, we found out that someone is not who they pretended to be. And that is what it means. But when you look at it through a spiritual sense, it's like you went through it unexpectedly, knowing that a person, was deceiving you the whole while. And so once, you come to realize that you were fooled for a long time, you kind of get a deeper meaning of it other than what you read in the Bible. Because a lot of times people can read things in the Bible and still be pretty lost because you don't have that, you weren't able to sense it, through a spiritual perspective. You only read it and you understand what the passage means, but you never really experienced it. And, once you go through certain things, you can better explain your situation, to people who haven't experienced it. Not saying they're going to really fully understand it and pick up on it right away, because the best teacher is experience. But it's good to kind of, go through certain things in life. And it's even better when you can come out of it, saying that you were able to survive this spiritual attack. You were able to come out on the other end and talk about it, rather than, oh, I read about that. And, you kind of share the knowledge of it, but you don't really have a real feel of what it means to have gone through it. So in this video, I just kind of want to explain two examples of how testing the spirits to see if they are real, how you can really get the full understanding of their passage, and you can, share the message by knowing what it really means. A lot of times when we, come upon someone and our first impression of them is what they give us the first 5 minutes. Some of us, we kind of give it a little more time to scope them out and feel them out and kind of, see what they're all about. But a lot of times people are quick to jump to conclusions by prejudging someone. And a lot of times when it happens, you can misjudge someone, because you cannot label a person as being, crazy because of this one experience you had with them. You have to really have, been around them for a long period of time, spent a lot of time with them. It's like when a person go out on a first date. I don't think it's really fair to jump to conclusions with that person if it was just a first date. Of course, it can kind of determine if you want to see them again. But it's really not fair to just say, oh, I don't want to see them again because they were acting crazy. They were loud and irate and just doing the most and was just like embarrassing me, because that person probably was doing what they felt like they needed to impress you. And what they didn't know is that what they don't realize is that you don't have to do that. Just be calm, be settled, be yourself, and just go with the flow. And a lot of time people, they don't think that way, and they are misjudged for being who they are. And that's not even their true character. That's just an act that they felt they had to put on, to be viewed in a certain way. A lot of times when people are misjudged, they are labeled and branded, and that's how easy false rumors spread around about people. And not that people should just go about the first thing to hear about somebody, but at the same time, that's how it happens. That's just how it happens. But as far as testing the spirits from a spiritual sense, when you test the spirits, it's like you're not seeing it in plain view. It happens spiritually because the spirits are communicating with each other. And it's like your spirit is pure and it's real and it's who you are. And the false spirit is fighting against that. But that's not what they're going to portray in plain sight. So that's why they are quick to fool people who are not taking a deeper look into things, from a spiritual perspective. If anything, they jump to conclusions by the first impressions. Oh, they were so nice to me, and they did so many nice things for me, or they're so kind because of what they are presenting to people. It's a gimmick, it's an act, it's just a character that they choose to use for the moment. But that's not the true character. And testing the spirits is by not, participating in things that you're always invited to. Testing the spirits is to decline offers. Like, you don't have to always accept something that's offered to you just because the person, they offer it to you in such a nice way. A lot of times people feel like, well, that's being rude if I always turn them down, or if I turn them down, I think that's being rude. That's not true. That's not being rude. That it falls under preference. You don't have to accept anything if you don't want to, and it's not being rude. And you can decline the offer in the most nicest way. If a person have a a clear understanding of things and they think logically, they will understand that it's not to be taken personal. It's not something to get offended over because someone doesn't want to accept something from you. And a lot of times that's how narcissists is able to fool people, by offering. That's how they get you in the beginning. Offering, offering, offering. And that's how you don't really see the true character, because you're blinded by everything they're putting in front of you. And see, it's like you're not quick to prejudge them in a negative way, but you're quick to prejudge other people in a way because they're not giving you what you expect. Like, what's normal. And like, what's normal anyway? What's the real definition of normal? And that's why it is very, very important to get in touch with your spiritual side, so that you can carefully really, you know, figure things out on a spiritual level, and not so much as what a person is presenting to you in plain sight. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about in this video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. This other thing I want to talk about dealing with narcissists is how when a narcissist, when they're feeling rejected, this thing that they'll do to kind of throw a person off on someone else. And they do this not because they're completely through with you. It's because they're kind of, they're frustrated, they're angry, but at the same time, they're trying to contain that image of themselves. So what they do is pretend like, well, if I can't have them, I'll see if they'll give someone else a chance. And when narcissists do this, and trust and believe, they're still watching. They're still keeping tabs on you just to kind of see if you'll give someone else a response different from what you gave them. And, I've experienced this firsthand, how narcissists, when they can't handle rejection, and they kind of want you to think that, okay, I'm cool. I know how to handle, I know what no means, I know what it means when you're not interested in me. What they do is just kind of go silent for a while. But while you're not hearing from them doesn't necessarily mean that they're not up to something. A narcissist is so sneaky in their ways and so envious. You'll start to see the envious side of them, that they want to pretend like, oh, it was just a genuine gesture to try to, to spread, the good news about you. I didn't mean no harm. The narcissists know that you're a private person and that you rather not, be spoken about and things like that. And I really wish that you wouldn't discuss me with other people because I'm not interested in getting to know people. But when the narcissist feels rejected, they don't care about respecting your feelings. If anything, again, they'll go silent and they're very sneaky. So in that moment, they'll pull out these tactics to try to throw you off on other people. And they do this for two reasons. They do it to see, was it something personal? Like, oh, well, if she rejected me, I'm gonna try to throw her off on my guy friend, on my boy. So maybe if I tell my boy, go holler at her, go see if she'll give you a chance. And if she gives him a chance, then I know that it was just me. So what they want to do is trap you and be like, well, if she give him a chance, and I told you, man, I'm glad I didn't mess with that. She wasn't nothing but a hoe, something like that. That's what they want to do. And if you don't fall for the bait, if you don't give the person a chance, or if you kind of reject them as well, the narcissist, they still going to smear your name some kind of way. But at the same time, they're going to smear your name in a way as, I don't know why they just stopped talking to me, all the good things I did for them. I was such a good friend. I just don't understand how people could just turn their back on you all of a sudden and just act funny. So it's like, you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't with a narcissist when it comes to rejection, because that's just something they can't handle. Some of it, they they pretend like they can handle it, but again, it's all a part of a sneaky tactic that they have under their sleeve. And if you ever find yourself in a situation, in a triangle situation with a narcissist, which they call a triangulation, that's one of the ways that they can get you, in a state of confusion. And you're wondering, like, okay, why is this person trying to flirt with me, trying to take me out on a date? Like, we're not even on that level. And it's funny because I noticed that you've become closely acquainted with the narc. So, that's something to question. Always question your surroundings when you know that a narcissist is somewhere lurking around, or they kind of have some type of dealings with a person who you're just getting to know. Because trust me, the narc is trying to groom them into a position of doing something to prove things just to themselves or to others. This part of the video, I want to talk about the jealous narcissist. Narcissists are so jealous to the point where, it's like they pretend like they're celebrating you. They congratulate you because they know the right things to say to a person when they've been rewarded with something or when they've worked hard towards something. They know what to say. But at the same time, you have to really pay attention to the narcissist because they'll show you just how jealous they are by the way they express their happiness for you. You're not going to hear so much of, oh, I'm just so happy for you. You deserve it. All of that comes under certain terms and conditions when you're dealing with a narc. It all depends on the small details. They need to know, first of all, what have you accomplished? They need to go into details about it. As far as, say, for instance, you just got a new car, but they got one a few months ago. And they know this is something you're working towards. So that moment when you're finally able to share the good news with them, oh, I got my new car, I'm loving it, I'm so happy. Before they express their happiness for you, they need to know every single thing about that car. How much you put down, how much is your note, They need to know the year, the make, the model. You would think that, you're getting insurance on the car with them as much information as they require. So you have to pay attention to the questions they ask during the moments that they should just pretty much be congratulating you and when they should be happy for you. They're going to show you a whole nother side of them. And that's when you can kind of determine, well, are you happy for me or are you jealous of me? The jealous narcissist can't help but to show you this ugly side of them. They can't help but to show it. Now, of course, they're going to show you that they're happy that you got something new or whatever. But is it something that, narcissists is like materialistic things is something that they live for because it helps to set the false narrative that they create. It all goes along with the false um, reality that they live in. The narcissist is delusional to the point so they feel so entitled to things that they're wondering, like, how did you get all that? Well, I got it because I worked hard for it. None like the narcissist who just feel like it just should be a given. That's why you hear them say things like, I should have been born rich, or why couldn't I be a like someone who's come from a really wealthy family. I wish I could have grown up in royalty. Just things like that. That's so far from reality. But they really feel like, why couldn't it just be me? Just for the sake of supply. It's all about how it makes them feel. You know, material things gives the narcissist a whole new high. It puts them on this higher level. It makes their ego, you know, 3 times bigger than what it is. And they have no room to really feel that way. They don't even deserve a lot of things that they have. They don't deserve it. They just want it and they have it based off competition. The narcissist is very competitive. They're very jealous and they need to make sure that what you have is not better than theirs. Now, had you went and got a vehicle that's probably around the same age as theirs, they still need to know the details. But if they have a 2019 and you got a 2017, then they don't care. Oh, they happy. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Yeah, you go, girl, this and that and the other. And yeah, but let it be the same year as theirs. Oh, they need to go into the details about this card to make sure that it's not better than theirs. And if it is, then they're going to take that whole moment away from you to speak about how they are working towards their next vehicle. Now all of a sudden you weren't even worried about a car until I got mine. That just goes to show how jealous they are. Like the saying goes, people want to see you do good, but as long as you're not doing better than them. That's how the narcissist think. And the narcissist needs you to do good for the simple fact of it gives them supply. But you cannot be better than them. Because if you're better than them, it takes away from them in a sense. Because now you're going to be focusing your attention on something that you can really, really enjoy. You're proud of yourself for accomplishing certain things that they are not willing to do for themselves. And they devalue you in a way to where, oh, well, they know your worth. They know your worth. That's why they pick you. But they devalue you in a way to where you could have gotten something more than that if you were smart. But I'm glad you didn't because I need you to stay right there where you're at because it benefits me. That's how the narcissists think, especially a jealous narcissist. Well, to me, all of them are jealous, but I'm just pointing out the obvious. You just have to listen to them when they express their so-called happiness for you. And then they take the whole moment away from you and brings it back to themselves on what their next big move will be. Like, why are we even talking about this? Because I got something and you don't. Now it's all about you. you know.